Что за игра? Игра про офисного работника, который должен...
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Это история о человеке по имени Стэнли.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427.
Что я буду рассказывать, правильно?
Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on the keyboard.
Нажимать
Orders
кнопки
came
на
to him
клавиатуре, это
through a
важно.
monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders
Отличная работа.
as though he had been made exactly for this job.
Идеальная просто. Сидишь, не напрягаешься.
And then one day something very peculiar happened.
Есть на нее русская озвучка? Ну, что посмотрим.
Something he would never quite forget.
Может, в настройках я не увидел.
For nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years
Лучшая работа в мире.
this complete isolation. Something was very clear.
Нет русской озвучки. Ну, вообще оригинал нормально, все равно же голос... Зачем, если голос должен быть именно таким? Шокирован долгое время, не мог сдвинуться с места. Неофициально... Не, ребят, я не вижу смысла в неофициальную концовку... Неофициальную озвучку ставить, потому что здесь вся... суть именно в голосе, который с тобой разговаривает. Итак, Стэнли встал и вышел из офиса. Куда же исчезли все наши коллеги? Стэнли решил пойти в конференц-зал. Ну, здесь комп какой-то работает. Ну, в конференц-зал, так в конференц-зал. Знать бы, где он. Эй!
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Да, хорошо. Пойдем. Конференц-зал!
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Хорошо. Поищем босса. How to solve a dispute with a coworker. Let it ball up inside you. Take... не успел прочитать. Using slides to assure employees that everything is okay. Вот это отличный слайд. Каждый уникален, ты в особенности. Отличный слайд вайсирую. Особенно слайд про то, как сделать правильные слайды, чтобы они были не напряжны для сотрудников, типа. Там было number of slides on this slide. Rated which charts on the same... А может, есть по-русски? Depict the same information. Rate of increase in graphs per slide. Boss appreciation minute on your boss appreciation minute worksheet. Circle the top 20 things you love most about your boss. Скажите 20 лучших вещей о вашем боссе. Не читай, почему? Ну, это важная инфа. А здесь что написано? О чем ты желаешь? О чартах, конечно же, и о слайдах. Больше слайдов. Вот это неплохой совет о том, как сделать так, чтобы тебя не уволили. Поменьше говори, делай шикарно свою работу. Вас не уволят. Так, ладно, хватит читать. Пойдем к боссу. Room closet. Нет, стоп, мне, наверное, сюда не надо.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Здесь действительно ничего нет, поэтому развернемся и пойдем к боссу.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Не, ну мне нравится, когда мне говорят, как проходить игру. Обожаю просто. Это мое любимое. Даже чат не нужен. Сама игра тебе говорит, как проходить игру. Так круто.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again
Офигеть, и здесь
stunned to
никого.
discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this.
Какие-то темные секреты от нас скрывают.
What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
2845. Спасибо, чат, за подсказку.
Yet incredibly,
Мне она очень нужна была. Офигеть, случайные кнопки. Удача. О, здесь открылось что-то. Клево. Наверное, мне надо сюда, да? Не знаю. Надо проверить. Что, куда мне чат подскажет идти? Ну ладно, большая красная кнопка вниз, хорошо. Раньше играл в эту игру? Нет.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Пойдем дальше. Какой-то какие-то глубины завода. Выход написано красненьким слева. А здесь центр управления разумом. Чат, нам туда, да? Спасибо, спасибо.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Ну давай, хорошо. Еще кнопка. Камеры включить.
Now the monitors jumped to life. Their true nature revealed.
О, боже мой.
Each bore the number of an employee in the building. Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen. And Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
А как где там был у него его номер? 427, по-моему, было? Ну, где-то здесь, наверное, да? Там еще один какой-то уволенный был. Почему его все еще пока... А, вот. 427, да? Employee. Если я не ошибаюсь. Так, можете еще раз включить? Я посмотрю. Не та, по-моему, комната. Или та? Ладно, пойдем.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe it couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Возможно. Что ж, пойдем дальше.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control.
Не, пойдем обратно на работу.
It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible?
Давай вернемся на рабочее место.
His entire life utterly blind to the world. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Уничтожим ужасную машину. Facility Power, наверное, туда надо, да? Давай сюда вначале посмотрим. 4. Блин. Мне надо 1 найти, наверное. Уничтожим. Чат не будет управлять жизнью этого человека. Он не будет диктовать ему то, куда ему идти, что сделать и что посмотреть. 5. Ни в коем случае. Мэй, привет. Рисап так и не появился? Ну да, Лариса Чан тоже писала сегодня, что, по-моему, не было. Напоминает игруху с соседом почему-то. Да не, здесь более глубокая мысль, по-моему. Мысль заключается в том, что не надо бэкситить стримера. Большую красную кнопку увидел. Взорвать все. Нет. Не, наверное, все-таки как-то по-другому надо было нажимать эти кнопки. Ладно. Отключим энергию сейчас, и все будет хорошо.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Остановить. Не-не, я...
Stanley, you didn't just activate the control.
Не, я случайно.
After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control.
Я мискликнул.
Is that what you wanted?
Нет, не надо управлять моим разумом.
Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better.
Прости, чат, прости, я не хотел.
You think you do, for example, and I believe you'll find this.
О, выключить.
Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are
О, боже мой, отключить их.
eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes. Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story.
Выключить.
Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes.
Заткнись, я пытаюсь ее выключить, если это так работает.
More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are?
Что случилось с коллегами? Нет, я хочу выжить.
All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make
Выключись. No, в дверь бежать, у меня времени слишком мало уже.
I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what?
Нет, открой.
Some extra time on the clock, why not?
О, еще время добавил, спасибо.
Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something
Есть что-то выключить. 2. Incorrect.
Running from button to button, screen to screen.
Вторую нажать, наверное. Где вторая была? Там.
Or maybe this big red button or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me.
Дальше что? Алло, подскажите, мониторы.
Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to you.
Я сдаюсь.
You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge, it's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever up.
Ладно, я пытался. Хорошо, чат. Ваши подсказки привели меня к смерти. Спасибо вам огромное. Я больше не буду слушаться чат, когда он пытается подсказать стримеру, как пройти игру. Налево, говорите, идти? Нет, направо. В комнату отдыха заскочить. Не знаю, что из этого комната отдыха. Нет, я не пойду в комнату отдыха. Нельзя больше ничего сделать. Подсказывали, все подсказывали.
It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room.
Ну разве что выпить немножечко было здесь.
Stood here, drinking it all in.
Что это за комната отдыха, в которой нет бухла? Я не могу так отдыхать. Придется идти дальше. Первую дверь слева. О, нет, чат. Я уже все понял. Не.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Так, здесь ключ-карта какая-то нужна. Чат, надоели ваши подсказки, я не буду им следовать.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not. Really, I'm not. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Я доказал вам, что и как. А теперь я просто сяду и буду дальше работать.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure.
Эй, чё?
What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go anywhere except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. nothing will break me.
Ой, здесь
In
хорошо,
here
да.
I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell.
Чё?
The one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Ладно, чат, я готов следовать вашим подсказкам.
All
Эй,
his
чего такое?
coworkers were gone. What could it mean?
Комната
Stanley decided
изменилась.
to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Whiteboard. Welcome to the whiteboard ending. Ну, мы дождались чего-то, видите? Мы поменяли свою жизнь, мы поменяли геймплей, все, игра поменялась. Не зря я посидел и поработал еще
Stanley went
годика.
around touching
Несколько.
every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Тьфу. Ну я хочу запереться в этой комнате и бесконечно смотреть на консоль Барк. Борг. Сейчас, где здесь можно консоль включить? Нет, нельзя. Ладно. Ладно. А, нет, все то же самое, просто начало. Ладно, чат, я готов слушаться. Чего вы там говорите? Может быть, можно потрогать что-нибудь? Хорошо, чат, я готов слушать ваши советы. Пойдем. В конференц-зале никого. Запрись в кладовке и сиди. Хорошо.
Oh no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time.
Спасибо. Спасибо. Чат, это был хороший совет. Еще какие-нибудь советы? Я слушаю. Просто жди, да без проблем вообще. Я только вебку выключу, хорошо? Просиди там полстрима и осознаешь, что впустую потратил время. Дверь открыла, заруинил, походу. Воу. Я ничего не делаю, я не двигаю мышкой. Ладно, я понял, хватит сидеть, все, чат. Плохой был совет. Зато я поел, спасибо. Пойдем дальше. Нет, кабинет начальника не интересно. Пойдем вниз. Красная лампочка какая-то. Не надо было открывать дверь, но в следующий раз, может, попробуем.
He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming! He yelled. This is all a dream.
Точно, похоже.
What a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared.
Я цифры запоминал.
Much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a
boy next door?
Шон, donation accepted, поправил полосочку. Спасибо большое за донат.
Полосочки. И раз рисовнуться не получается, то пусть Google мужик поздравит меня с совершеннолетием 7 год.
Тебя день рождения? Тебе 18? Поздравляю. С днем рождения тебя. Чатик. Feels birthday, man. И этот Пепе радуется вместе с тобой. Ну и это, всего тебе самого хорошего. Не забудь хорошо отпраздновать. Малыш, как раз выходные, уже пятница.
Voice in my head, dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking. Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts.
6, 2,
And while he thought it all very
7,
odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that of
0.
course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself?
Или 6.
Believing that
6270 или
he didn't have to take
6276.
responsibility for himself?
Если по стрелкам
Stanley
именно
is
посмотреть.
as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of the world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Обратно в рабочую комнату? Нет. Нет. Нет.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Это лучшая концовка в игре? Полагаю, что да. У него есть ноги, да, они все-таки есть. Мне кажется, это концовка про работника, у которого сегодня, не знаю, был день рождения, и у них был корпоратив, они все нажрались, и никто не помог ему дойти до дома просто. Бедняга. Ладно, пойдем. Стучи в 430-ю, предлагают в чате. Хорошо, давайте попробуем.
Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition.
Я стараюсь. Давай. Я уже, по-моему, нажал в 20 раз.
I have to say, I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly 50 clicks.
Да не очень-то сложно, в принципе, чё. Я привык делать одно и то же.
I'm still not feeling it. I want this achievement to have meant something. It has to be a true reward for valiant effort. I want to see some hustle, Stanley. I want to see commitment, a willingness to go all the way, no matter what the cost. Why don't you go put 20 clicks into door number 417?
417-ю 20 раз. Хорошо. Где она находится? Пойдем. О! 4, 5. Я же 20 не нажал. 437, хорошо. Мужик, я готов. Ты думаешь, Ты не представляешь, сколько генераторов я перечинил в свое время. Ты даже не представляешь.
Excellent. I think we're getting somewhere. Now, door 415. Let's give it 10 clicks or so.
Раз, два, три, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Now, back to door number 437.
Got it.
Let's see. How about you click on, well, I don't know, the copy machine.
О, его найти надо. О, нашел.
All right, back to room 417. I'm really feeling it now. I think we're getting somewhere.
Хорошо, мы Мы придем к чему-нибудь, по-любому.
Okay, now go climb on employee 419's desk.
Вообще без проблем.
Yes, this is great. You're putting it all on the line, Stanley. I like that. All right, let's keep it up. Go give me a few clicks on door 416. We've almost got it. Now the copy machine do that one again.
Сейчас все сделаем. Сейчас все сделаем.
Finish it off, Stanley. 5 clicks on door 430. Yes!
Ачивка!
We did it! Oh, wow. That felt amazing. Oh, you really earned it, Stanley. Nothing could hold you back. Yes, I'm very proud of how far we've come today. Just think, only a few minutes ago, you believed an achievement was worth 5 little clicks. Really now, what were you thinking?
А? Так, хорошо, на цветок, затем на стол, затем в окно. Еще одна концовка. Какой стол? Все ради ачивки, конечно. Этот цветок? Не, на тот цветок. На этот стол. You can't jump. Открыто достижение. Лол. Ты не можешь спрыгнуть в окно. Хорошо. Ладно, пойдем дальше. Возвращаемся к нашим будням. Погнали.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief,
Come on!
Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer.
Там было весело, я там мог покушать нормально. Пойдем к боссу.
Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
У меня есть одна идея. О! В прошлый раз здесь не открывалось. I've got the feeling money is for stealing, but not yours, of course. So that's a lovely purse. So that's a lovely purse. Мне такое чувство, что я хочу украсть деньги, но, конечно же, не твои. О, какая классная сумочка. Extreme bathrooms. Руки хоть помой. Джеймс Гейминг, нормально, но ранги никому не нужны. Так, ладно, я ее закрывал уже, да? Окей. А там say that's a lovely purse. Окей. Так, можно посидеть на кресле секретарши. Нет? Нельзя? Может, я очень хочу поработать секретаршей. О, здесь открыто. Бизнес-стратегия. Убей пандочку. Ну, что за бизнес-стратегия такая? Сними ее. Сними эту картину. Товарищ, у вас лифт шипит. Минутку. Почему я в этом отражении вижу член? В этих бликах на двери. Он что-то говорит, слышите? Прислушайтесь. Нет, я шутил. Так, хорошо, мы что-то слишком долго едем. О, камон! Можно меня придавить дверью? А давай как во всех фильмах мы... Ладно, откроем лифт изнутри. Типа шахту. Ладно, пойдем.
Stepping into his manager's
Ладно, офис босса.
Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet.
Ладно, видимо, здесь действительно ничего не сделать. Не поразбрасывать книги, как он сказал, ничего. О, сумочка.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs.
Хорошо.
Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845. Stanley simply began entering random codes into the keypad, knowing full well 2845. Forgot, but it turns out
Ну, если 6969 не сработало.
And the door just opened all by itself. And Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
О, чё говорите? 8888? Не, поздно уже. Ну, 8800, 55535, надо попробовать. Ладно, в следующий раз попробуем в таком случае. Аварийная сигнализация сработала, ага. Дверь открылась сама собой. Ну, значит, 6969 все-таки сработал. Нормально.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Ага. Стоп, нет, я хотел чапе сделать. Окей. Я забыл, там же можно было выбраться. Ладно, опять. Я здесь как-то забрался наверх. Может, еще спрыгнуть можно? Нет. Ладно. В этот раз мы отключим эту машину. По контролю над разумом. Изи.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced.
Почему никто нигде не фапает? Ой, там какой-то номер. Там ошибочка какие-то, как красный экран смерти.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Здорово, петушочек. Игруля отлично.
He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept
Эта игра,
his own
она...
life
Это
in
симулятор
someone else's
подсказок
control.
чата.
Never. It was unthinkable.
То есть есть какой-то
Wasn't it?
голос в
Was it
чате,
even possible?
который
Had he
подсказывает
truly
тебе,
spent
как
his
проходить
entire
игру.
life utterly
А ты вот не
blind to
слушаешься
the
его,
world?
потому что ты не позволишь
It was the
чату
proof,
контролировать
the heart of the operation,
свою жизнь,
controls
свою игру и
labeled
свое
with
прохождение.
emotions, happy or sad or content.
Ладно, чат, что дальше
Walking,
делать?
eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Так, в этот раз случайно не промахнуться и выключить. То еще бы 5 минут ждали, пока все взорвется.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine.
Ей!
Unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange
Алкоголь
hold?
отвечает
But
на
as
все эти
sunlight
вопросы.
streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know.
Чё так ярко-то?
It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Я могу...
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Я счастлив, Стэнли счастлив. Все счастливы. Beat the game, открыть достижение, все, я прошел. Вот так просто эта игра проходится. Просто по указаниям голоса. Ну, чатика, конечно. Как и любая игра. Ну, достижение beat the game, да, все, игра пройдена. Так, ладно. Вправо.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first.
Там звонили. Я не услышал, да. О, боже, я не услышал. Ладно, потом.
Yes.
Я думаю, еще раз позвонят же, не? Я же нельзя вернуться. Так, нет, вперед. В прошлый раз я здесь упал, управляя своей жизнью. Do not jump from the cargo left while it is in motion will cause death. Cargo left. Penalty for jumping, 5000 баксов.
I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really I'm not. I realize that investing in your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is
Так, ну в этот раз я же... Можно же туда попасть, точно, вот туда можно.
There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself.
Да, вот сюда можно спрыгнуть, и скорее всего не разобьемся. Но потом в следующий раз, хорошо, давай.
Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Она ждала жизнь-то. Давно Стэнли проходишь? У тебя нет 5К, не прыгай. Да, Стэнли прохожу уже часик. Я думаю, мы большую часть концовок успеем сегодня посмотреть. Как бы... За 3 часа. Блин, не хочу. Не хочу в эту дверь. Блин, сюда можно вернуться, но... Воу!
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
А можно не брать трубку?
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting.
427-я квартира.
All right. Okay,
Lol.
there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha! Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to
Я
you?
все это время
I'm trying
трахал
to make a point here,
манекен.
Stanley. I'm trying to get you to
Манекен.
see something.
No.
Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Не, ну если он силиконовый, мягенький, может нормально.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Доброе утро, работник 427. Нажмите Z на клавиатуре.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
И замочим?
But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic.
Сиськи похуже, чем у Лары, правда?
From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Вот Лисандея, да, я говорю. Изи, жмешь кнопки, получаешь деньги, чё нет-то?
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Ви, чтобы поиграть с сыновьями.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Притча о Стэнли? Игра с младенцем, что? Нажмите Е, чтобы рассказать детям сказку. Хорошо.
Fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Я люблю тебя, дорогая.
But there is no answer.
А, куда делась?
How could there possibly be?
Вот так всегда говоришь им, что и любишь их, а они исчезают.
Same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one.
Спать. Спать — это хорошо.
That in this world he can never be anything but an observer. That as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, The next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Пойти утром на работу? Нет, я не буду этого делать. No. No. Теперь понятно, как Елена пропала из чата. Сложный жизненный опыт с манекеном, да, стрим. Манекены, они такие. Чтобы ударить, да, это здесь бы пригодилось, кстати. Я уверен, что... Хлоя справилась бы с этими проблемами. Шаманчик я видел. Ай, ладно.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again.
No.
Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button.
No. Whoa.
Stanley knew the office layout like the back of his hand. It was only a matter of time before he found the others, wherever they were. Just a matter of time.
Где здесь телефон звонил в прошлый раз? В этот раз нет? А тут бумажек разбросано. А когда я алкострим, время клевых вопросов. Без понятия. Наверное, ближе к релизу новой DLC-шки в ДБД. Он даже ничего не говорит. А, ну да, он не говорит, пока сюда не пришел.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
24-часовой
This
стрим,
was not
скорее
the correct
всего.
way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly
К
well.
релизу DLC-шка, а
Perhaps he
этот
wanted to stop by the
задажа.
employee lounge first, just to
Стрим.
admire it.
14 февраля, наверное, ближайший.
The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
No. У меня все еще есть здесь незаконченные дела.
Following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Концовку уже открыл.
Look, Stanley,
Достаточно
I think
уже
perhaps we've
концовок.
gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing in your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story is...
Есть!
Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful.
Опасность, опасность везде.
Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
Два в одном. Готовьте к полоски 5к долларов на штраф разрабам Stanley Parable. 2 в 3. О, втроем уже прикольней. О, тут вообще какие-то оргии.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
No.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
No!
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
Red door.
All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Is it worth ruining the entire story I'd written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far.
Деревья навыков, да, давай. Я прокачиваться хочу. РПГ-элемент он всегда тащит.
There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
Клево. Деревянная дверь какая-то. Это уже больше похоже на РПГ. Драконы, пауки, может быть, скелеты.
Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
Please rate your experience. 10 из 10.
Aha! You see, I knew I was onto something. Where do these flashes of inspiration come from? How did I know the game needed a third door? Well, it's instinct mostly, a calling in your gut. I really couldn't say where the idea came from, except that I felt it in my soul. You can't teach that, Stanley. Don't even try. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Okay. The Stanley Parable Worldwide Leaderboard. %, игроков скипнули интро. Сумасшедшие люди. Только 3% худших игроков выбрали синюю дверь. Ваш ранг 9328. Френд-листов нет. Ой, нет друзей. Дверей открыто. 98,9% игроков более привлекательны, чем Стэнли. Мертвая крыска. О. А это тот, кто над нами, он чуть-чуть лучше нас. Количество шагов сделано. Сидел в кладовке 3 минуты. Мы посидели чутка, но... Так, хорошо, снова в третью дверь, погнали.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
Ну, на 4.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some play testing. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it?
Давай поиграем, да.
Perfect. Let me boot it up. In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
Не, я, пожалуй, не буду.
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out, I'm out, I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here?
Я думал, сейчас игра выключится.
Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot. Well, Stanley, is this any better? At last, the one thing you've always desired. A game I had absolutely nothing to do with. But is it enough? Tell me that, Stanley. Will it ever be enough? Well, I'll say this. I'm done making things for you. From now on, I will only create to fulfill a greater artistic purpose.
Лукас заказал не просто одну игру, он заказал аж 3 игры. Он одновременно заказал Stanley Parable, игру, в которой надо спасать ребенка, который ползет к огню, и Майнкрафт.
Watch this, Stanley. I'm going to build a house.
Так, мне нужно дерево срочно. Надо как можно до первой ночи построить дом небольшой. Можно в земле, конечно. А, землянку можно сделать, согласен.
Let's see, what does it need? Yes, of course. And just to finish it all off, yes, it's
землянка.
Complete. I made this, Stanley. Look at it. Gaze upon my work of art and feel ashamed at your own inadequacy. But you've only seen it from the outside. You've only gotten half the experience. Please, step inside and make yourself comfortable.
А можно я пойду еще свинок поубиваю немножко и цветочки пособираю? Ладно.
Isn't it grand? Isn't it perfect? It could only be better if... Wait, that's it. We must rebuild it out of diamond. Diamond everything. Yes. Come along, Stanley. We have to go mining.
О, да, наконец-то. Клево. Блин, давно в Майнкрафт не играл еще. Лет, наверное, 5, не меньше. Когда он еще в бетке закрытый был, еще тогда в него играл. Пещеры. Всегда любил в Майнкрафте исследовать пещеры.
Oh my, it looks like it's going to get a bit dark. Have you brought a light?
Блин, что-то реально темно становится. Ой, там уголь есть, по-моему. Блин, уголь нам тоже пригодился бы. Грибочки бери.
Oh, no. This is far more open-ended than I had in mind. I'm looking for something more narrow and linear. Something that makes you feel utterly irrelevant. This won't do at all. 1 out of 5. Even the diamonds couldn't save this one. Okay, new game.
Крипер или... Надо было спрыгнуть, по-моему. Скелет вроде был. По звукам. Или зомби.
Yes! I don't even know what this game is, but I love it. You, trapped in a glass box with no way out, listening to me talk. Oh, it's inspired. I couldn't have done it any better myself.
Ну, здесь уже можно что-то в руки брать.
I can't figure it out. Oh, now I'm curious. Let's go find out what the hell this is.
Окей, это лучшая концовка. Не та, где мы умираем бухие. Осторожно, кубик на голову может упасть, я понял. В Portal я тоже не играл. Лукас заказал уже целых 4 игры на стрим.
Oh, it's a puzzle. Critical thinking, Stanley. Your forte. Genius.
Гениально.
No, actually, you know what? I think that's plenty. I really don't care much to
Нет, весело.
see any more of these games, and I highly doubt you're any wiser for the.
Нет. Эй, дальше что делать, мужик? Эй! Ну, чат, ну подсказывай. Не хочу ходить по пустым коридорам. В темноте. Это неинтересная игра, верни меня в предыдущие игры. Хочу дом строить из алмаза. Но, мам... Но, мам... Алмазные домики. Ну верни мне мой дом. Верни дом, верни шмотки все. Верни мне дом. Разрабы-гриферы, да. Не забрали весь мой лут.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice. And if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am.
Да, я...
That is what I mean
Помоги
to this
мне.
world.
Помоги
Oh,
мне.
yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
Окей. Ладно.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Хорошая концовка. Дали в Portal поиграть и в Майнкрафт. Я уже доволен. Сегодня за стрим столько игр было. В ДБД поиграли, в Майнкрафт поиграли, в Portal, в Stanley Parable. Не спасли ребенка, правда, но...
Stanley came to a set of two open doors. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge.
Ну мы пытались, мы
just to
пытались.
admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nope.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong...
Провод на телефоне, да, я слышал чат, я помню.
I realize that investing in your trust in someone else can be difficult, but
Мне еще в красную дверь надо будет зайти потом.
There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself.
Вернуть свою Тиан.
To let her back into your
Силиконовая Тиан.
She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley. Oh, no, you can't... Did you just unplug the phone? No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person. I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't
Очень
have that
опасная
kind of risk on
ситуация.
my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person.
Это
But if
главная
used
часть того,
incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous. For example,
чтобы
in
быть
this scenario, a
нормальным
hypothetical
человеком.
real person named Stephen has a choice.
У
He
Стивена
could
есть
spend
выбор.
years helping improve the quality of life for citizens of impoverished third world nations. Or he could systematically set fire to every orphan living in a 30-kilometer radius of his house. Which choice would
Он
you
мог бы
make?
помогать
Remember
голодающим
that unlike
детишкам
here,
или
the real
поджигать
world
все в
makes
30
sense,
километрах
and
от
at no
своего
time should
дома.
you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack."
Говорит, если...
Excellent.
Окей.
Making choices on a regular basis is the best
О,
part
субтитры
of a
внезапно
healthy
появились. Что?
decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Ah, welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
Там еще говорилось, типа, если вы говорите с человеком, который не несет в себе никакого смысла, вы понимаете, что он делает какие-то бессмысленные вещи, просто дослушайте его мнение и все, и перестаньте с ним общаться. Это из той же комнаты выходим. И...
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story.
Я хотел
That
спрыгнуть
story
на
will
этот,
make
на
no
мостик.
sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
Кстати, самая отличная ачивка Go outside, don't play the Stanley Parable for 5 years. Жесть. Серьезно? Есть ачивка, выйди из игры и не сходи в нее 5 лет. Ну ладно, возвращаемся кнопки нажимать, я так полагаю.
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world. Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
последовать его примеру, это приведет к какой-то другой концовке или нет?
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
А, тут все сломалось. Шкафчики, они в стене. Блин, а... все. Походу придется налево идти. Походу налево все-таки придется. Такой стул клевый. Оп. Нёп. Возможно, можно просто не идти. Может быть. Сколько же концовок прошли? Да хз, кстати. Ну, десятка. Десятка есть, наверное. Ладно, придется налево. Оу. Оу. Не закрылась. А? Whoa.
Oh, it's ruined. I can't believe, after everything we talked about, that my story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever, reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down.
Не, подожди.
I have to.
No! 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 Чё-то крипово становится.
I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You. Who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you? You're a child. Oh, my story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard.
Да, мы видели уже.
Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry. Behave exactly as Stanley would.
Окей, все. Перестаем ломать игру.
Story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Нет, направо еще раз надо было, really? Я чё, сфейлил? Просто еще один раз надо было зайти? Я думал, будет повторяться снова и снова. Камон, мне придется перепроходить? Да не, вряд ли. Блин, кладовка не открывается.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Ну вот. Воу, а чё? Офис так изменился, лол. Вниз? Не, вниз я уже ходил.
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Night Shark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
Кажется, Стэнли все-таки не хочет говорить, нет?
Stanley spoke the code. Night Shark 115. He spoke it into the receiver, right there on the wall.
Night Shark 115. Nope.
I'm sorry, is there a problem?
Было бы забавно, если бы микрофон реально был подключен к игре.
Speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step. Okay, fine, you're not gonna do it, but you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward. When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left. Stanley? Hello? Are you... Is everything okay? Stanley, please. I need you to make a choice. I need you to walk through the door. Are you listening to me? Can you hear me? Is everything all right? Stanley, this is important. The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision. It cannot exist without you. Do you understand me? Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step forward, please. Choose. Do something. Anything. This is more important than you can ever know. I need this.
Такой грустный.
The story needs it. So, you hear me? Are you there? Are you listening to this? Stanley, are you there? Okay. It's okay, I can wait. Time to decide. Time to make sure your choice is correct. That is the best choice. That's all right. I'll wait for you to decide what's the right thing to do. Take as much time as you need.
Бибелитум. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his
Так,
coworkers.
ладно. Перестаем грустить по поводу того Стэнли. Дверь свою закрой. Она автоматом закрывается, по-моему. Из окна уже выпрыгивал. Мне игра сказала, что вы не можете выпрыгнуть из окна. А, ты имеешь в виду остаться в комнате? Нет, это мы делали. Мне игра сказала, не... ну, типа, ачивку дали, но выпрыгнуть не выпрыгнул, нет. Так, ладно, здесь еще есть то, что я не делал.
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach.
Красная дверь.
Get back to business. Stanley took the first open door on his
А потом в следующий раз вот сюда пойдем.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy.
Нужно, чтобы залезть на стол, нужно в стул потыкаться. Ага!
Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Хорошо, хорошо.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop.
Остановимся, хорошо.
We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
Ладно.
What do we want? What are we looking for?
Star.
Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
Минус глаза.
No, wait. Where are you going?
Не, возвращению.
Right. Where were we?
Красота.
Oh no! Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
Но я не собираюсь падать. Я просто поднимусь по ступенькам.
Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me. Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing.
Ничто не истинно, все дозволено.
No!
Я еще жив.
No. What are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this?
Ничто не истинно.
Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for me?
Ладно, пойдем обратно.
Yes, perhaps you can. Perhaps you finally see what I'm talking about.
Тут еще круче
I
стало.
know you'll see that we can't be happy if
Можем
we leave
остаться
this
здесь.
place. You can see that, can't you?
Красота. Лепота.
No, perhaps not. My God, is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll
Вот
throw
не
yourself
надо
from
на
this
жалость
platform
давить.
over and
Ты тут
over
и
to
так
be
чуть
rid
не
of it?
плакал в
You're
прошлом
literally willing to
прохождении.
kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly?
Requiescat in pace.
Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to... Do you actually want to stay alive? Or are you just teasing me?
Прыгать нельзя, Дамин Провор, нет. Присаживаться так можно, приседать. Этот прыжок мы сделаем сидя.
Is it over?
Ow.
It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
That's it. Окей. Воу. Офисы что-то поменялись. Ну нас сразу сюда привело.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was grand, majestic, perhaps, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Да, я хотел сюда пойти.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Нет. Да, Ботстарсис, я помню про этот поворот слева.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
Кровь! Бежим.
No, it's to the right, my mistake.
Понял.
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down...
Left, right, left.
Right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Left, right, left. Че, не, в машине нельзя, не? Блин, ну ладно. О!
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler.
Спойлеры!
Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay.
Не смотрите, там спойлеры.
Who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
Ладно.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Тут кто-то говорил,
decided to go to
то,
the meeting
что
room. Perhaps he had simply
цветок,
missed a memo.
потом подняться вот на этот столик. И типа потом вот отсюда можно спрыгнуть. Потыкать на стул. Ачивку-то я уже получил. Но чё-то нет. Ну, типа спрыгнуть в окно. Ну окей. Так, ладно. Направо.
When Stanley... Wait.
What?
Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be...
Черт, окей.
Change. Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Мне вот туда нравится. За стулья. Или нет? Не знаю. Я, кажется, потерялся.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
No, я ж там мог куда-то пробежать.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Это все еще интересно продолжение той же ветки? Ага, это все та же ветка продолжается.
It's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
О, там уже другие комнаты. Походу. По-другому вроде выглядит. I hate Monday. Отличная кружка. Да, там дверь открыта. Здорово, Лукас. Веселимся? Привет. 2 часа уже, получается, играем, и довольно много концовок уже открыли.
No, wait, never mind, not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Пойдем обратно. Это хоррор уже какой-то. Сейчас хоть крабы полезут, по-моему.
Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing,
Reset?
How about this? You win!
Yeah!
Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time, I have to restart.
Хорошо.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable adventure line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Ладно. Пойдем по полоске. Она куда-то не туда ведет, эй.
No, no, I'm down. We're leaving it up to the line from now on.
Все, мы не идем в двери, ну ладно. Пойдем. Стоп, 437. Она нифига не ведет в офис. Это просто проход. Лол.
You see, the line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office, in fact, the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa.
Да.
Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Оу, что? Одиннадцатая дверь. О, может, мы тогда первой дойдем? Десятая, восьмая. Шестой офис. Мы почти там, наверное. Annual reviews, installation reports, monthly ledgers, balance, financial records, deep dark fantasies. О, департамент аккаунтов. Не, ну следовать линии под эпичную музыку — это круто.
Cut the music. Go back and look at that fern.
О,
Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story.
хорошо.
Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Хорошо.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Oh, come on. Ладно. Ну ладно. Не, ну линейная игра под хорошую музыку, это да, это всегда хорошо.
Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you...
Кажется, это в принципе аналогия на современные игры.
Restart.
Хорошо.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it
Нет, моя полоса приключений.
People, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
А я помню, что здесь было. Эта дверь вела... Ладно. Там полоса была дальше.
Yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be?
Ребенок, ползущий в огонь.
Imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it. Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
Ладно.
Комнаты. A choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute.
Хорошо.
Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin.
Посмотрите, мы кемпим крюк.
Let us ask, will taking the right
Представьте, что здесь крюк. Мы же свою собственную историю создаем, правильно?
Since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Но обычно мы ходим в левую. Дверь, я хочу налево. Я налево хочу идти. Я хочу налево. Чат, хочу налево.
Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending.
Сумбурная концовка.
That's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how...
Я играю в эту концовку уже почти 17 минут.
Determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank.
Ага, пятый рестарт, и наратор забывает про предыдущие рестарты.
Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really...
Стэнли пытается играть историю, но его прерывают. Мы не можем никуда пойти.
I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped. Does that mean...
А что в конце было? Стэнли умирает, о боже. А наратор исчез.
How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now.
Путешествуем, ей!
Eventually. Well, in the meantime...
Ау.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Классические две двери. Оу. Ну, пойдем, окей.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting
Все
room,
это был
and
полный
Stanley
рестарт
looked
игры,
at
что
the
ли?
ground.
О.
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge
Залезть на стол
first,
теперь,
just
да,
to
я попробую в
admire.
следующий раз, когда...
And here it was, the lounge. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite
Эту
door,
игру кто-то
and
задонатил
got back
5к,
on
да,
track.
Павел Драга. Ну там не то чтобы именно на нее Лукас донатил и скидывал нам колесо. Не полный, не ломай, это не конец. Понял.
Yet there was not a single person
Не,
here
все, я
either.
могу делать
Feeling a wave
опять
of
выбора.
disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer. Coming to a staircase,
Так
Stanley walked
что...
upstairs to
Ну,
his
короче,
boss's
Лукас заказал
office.
несколько игр сразу. И на какую попало колесо, на то на то и нам и повезло. Это был Stanley Parable.
The moment he entered his manager's office, Stanley froze in his
Заходил в
tracks.
кабинет начальника и сразу же
Not
выходил
living
из него. А
soul
так можно?
anywhere. Could he really be
Войти и
all
выйти
alone?
прям вот
This
инстантом?
was too much for Stanley to take. Too much for any man to take. He
Кто-то
fell
говорил
to his
попробовать
knees,
прописать
bursting into
8888.
half moans, half sobs, the guttural retching of life from a man denied any hope, any reason to keep going. Here on the floor he lay prone, paralyzed by fear for nearly a full hour. But when at last he began to move about and survey the situation, he found a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could it mean? Was it a sign of hope for Stanley's
восьмерки.
future?
Открытое достижение.
Alas, it was not. For although this keypad guarded the terrible secret of Stanley's past, it had been assigned a 4-digit code so devious and so random that
Ну,
no
ачивку я
man could
получил.
ever hope to guess it. 2845. Statistically, nearly impossible to guess blindly, ever.
Хорошо, 2845.
Stanley simply began entering random codes into the keypad, knowing full well the sheer statistical, yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Пробовал забайтить дверь своего офиса на закрытием, при этом остаться там. Нет, мы просто запирались в своей комнате и продолжали нажимать кнопки. Такая концовка была. Так, ну в общем, в станцию управления сознанием мы не пойдем, тут у нас есть выход.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Окей.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Есть, мы сбегаем! Уху! I'm out of here!
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
No!
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Оу. Мы живы!
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Или он был бухой с момента, как начал игру. Офис лейаут. Здесь мы приходим к двум дверям, да? Коридор. The pacing of this opening section was important to get right. This corridor has been moved and altered to make sure the players reaches the two doors in a good time. The two doors, the set of two open doors, was the very first concrete piece of the Stanley Parable's design. Once this room was created, the rest of the game emerged as an extension of it, an exploration of the contradiction this room posed. Первое, что разрабы ввели в игру, это вот эту комнату с двумя дверями. Все остальное было уже потом введено, придумано. Blueprint shows the office from the beginning of the game. The path from Stanley's office to the two doors was the first part of the game that was built. Sections have been added and altered throughout development through the core layout remains almost identical to the first iteration. Ну, в общем, менялись немного офисы, но в итоге остались почти такими же, как изначально. Офис. Офисные компы. О, кто-то в косынку играет. Я так давно не играл в косынку, кстати. Можно про разрабов почитать. Наратора озвучивает Кевин Брайтинг, если кому-то интересно. Если кто-то хочет загуглить, что еще он озвучивал. Button sounds. A selection of the sounds used throughout the game when buttons are pressed. Each sound is a mix of a keyboard stroke and a synthesized tone. Каждый звук — это нажимание клавиши типа на клавиатуре и какой-то синтезированный звук. Maintenance room. Окей. Копировальная машина. Green light in September 2012. We submitted Stanley Parable to Greenlight. Valve's process of approving games for Steam. The Greenlight page had only a series of cryptic photos, which were still enough to win the community's approval. Всего-то несколько скриншотов было на Steam Greenlight. И все равно люди как бы решили, что игра стоит того, чтобы ее вводить в Steam. Что такое? Я там, по-моему, не был. Боевая зона. База пришельцев. Awesome. Early in development, we designed an ending where Stanley would end up on battlefield fighting aliens. The action game would become sentient and would wage war against the narrator. We realized shortly after starting to build it that it was far too jokey and on the nose for the tone of the game. Plus, some people interpreted it as making fun of people who like shooters, which was not our intention. Короче, они хотели создать одну из концовок, в которой Стэнли попадет на базу с пришельцами и будет стреляться, ну, против пришельцев. Это будет своеобразная война против наратора, против рассказчика. Но решили не вводить, потому что слишком шуточная была, и еще люди считали, что ее могут объяснить, ну, посчитать, типа, шутками над шутанами. From Alex. Ah. Will the game feature a copy, bro? Narrator emails. After the second trailer we sent out, we asked people to email the narrator for questions. While we had intentionally planned to use these and further promotional materials, we never found the perfect use for them. Here is a selection of those emails. Они писали, люди писали письма рассказчику, что? The Lounge. An early version of The Lounge. Ранняя версия комнаты отдыха. Ну, что-то такие себе. Где бар? Где бухлишка? Телефон. The apartment timer. Previous version of the choice leading to the apartment ending, a timer would give you 15 seconds to pick up the phone. Not picking up the phone would lead to a different ending. 15 секунд давалось, чтобы взять телефон, трубку, the cargo lift. Другой был. Угу. Где можно было спрыгнуть сюда. YouTube прохождение выложишь? Я все прохождения выкладываю на YouTube, да. Эту встречу. Вентиляция, что? Escape menu. У них была игра, в которой, ну, одна из концовок, в которых надо было реально нажать Escape и начать игру сначала. Но они ее убрали, потому что людям не очень понравилось. Zending model. What? The Zending went through many iterations. This room represented the fourth version of the ending, and we thought it was complete, but decided to abandon and change it again shortly before launch. Zending. Ну, ну, это понятно, там, где играть надо было, наверное. Они ее в итоге переделали. Эту концовку. Были даже какие-то эти. Можно было понажимать. Спасибо за донатик.
Зачета. Желаю всем легкой и светлой сессии, как мое пивко.
Приятного пивка тебе, Donation Accepted. Тоже вечерком буду пивко пивать. И град со сдачей зачета. Про ребенка же 4 часа, точно, было. Трейлеры. Че, реально просто трейлеры к игре? Серия сломанных комнат и нарратор, который говорит, что он готовится к новой версии Stanley Parable. Так, что я еще пропустил? Людям не нравилась концовка с рестартом через меня, просто очень мало игроков догадывались и делали это. Ну, was frustrating for everyone. А я что сказал? Понятно, что люди, немногие люди понимали о том, что надо было сделать, и поэтому это им не нравилось. Я просто сократил немного. Кнопки. Так, ладно, мне поднадоело немного читать, а это справа здесь, сюда, до лестницы ведет. Я же мог еще направо пойти, да. Офисные часы. Тут что-то есть. Диванчики. Underground. Ранняя версия этого. Ну да, раньше было типа escape прямо над дверью написано, а тут такая написано осторожненько, типа escape. Russian outtakes. Kevin Browning, the voice of the narrator, recorded dialogue for the entire game roughly 3 separate times over the 2 years of development. There are clips from early takes that were not used in the final game. 3 раза сессии по записи его голоса проводились. Стэнли стоял на крыше. Ранние версии, которые не были использованы. Зайти в кабинет директора и быстро выйти? Ну, попробуем, конечно, хз. Шулки, приятного. Countdown desk. Ранняя версия. Концовка со свободой в бетке была. Вот так выглядело. Так, ну все, наверное, да? Ну, примерно все, да. Это по-разному выглядела его комната, типа офис Стэнли. Переделывали. По памяти еще 2 в окно с кабинетом директора туда-назад. Ну да, я, по-моему, почти все прошел.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes
Да нет, очень даже после такого количества концовок заметно, что рассказчику тоже нужен Стэнли, чтобы рассказывать историю.
You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time
Норм. Ходя в белую комнату с разноцветными кнопками. Не помню вроде. Вроде не было. Это тот самый момент, когда мне надо начать игру сначала? Нажать ту самую кнопку, а не ждать чего-то. А, ну или нажать кнопку «Выйти», как она посоветовала, чтобы пройти игру. Окей. Выпрыгнуть в окно, так. Я вот еще на этот телефон не отвечал, кстати.
Message scheduled either by you or person in your place of work. The purpose of this message is to warn you about the dangers of recorded messages. If at any time you believe you are listening to a recorded message, please terminate it immediately and cease all flow of information from the recorded message into your perceptual sphere. Thank you, and have a pleasant day.
Если вы слушаете это записанное сообщение, оно говорит вам о том, насколько опасны записанные сообщения. Пожалуйста, запомните это сообщение и немедленно удалите его с телефона. Ой, не тот папоротник же, точно. Ну, не папоротник, а это. Вначале на него нажать, потом так, цветок, говорили, да? Потом на стол залезть. Может, это не надо, конечно, делать, не знаю. Кто-то говорили, что надо. И потом вот на этот стол, да.
At first,
Эй,
Stanley
вот.
assumed he'd broken the map, until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Are you sick of this gag? No?
Then in that case, we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop? Do you think it would have been particularly different? Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Oh, now think about it. Will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option? Clearly, this whole gag takes some time. What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration? Oh, and this is rich. Perhaps you've just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one? Imagine if you had selected Continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones.
Да, но эту проблему разрешил Life is Strange.
Listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky. Well now, I've built up the other option so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever and ever. Cheers.
Эту проблему решил Life is Strange, когда дал возможность возвращаться во времени и переигрывать все свои диалоги, как бы. Когда ты выбрал не тот диалог, а хочешь... Ну, то есть, когда ты хочешь услышать все диалоги в игре. Окей. Трогал компьютеры, тот, что секретарша директора. Да, я тыкал вроде все.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Не, ну конечно же мы послушаем, что он скажет, если нажать Yes.
He couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Волку, Life is Strange первую часть. Первую часть выложил. Первый эпизод. Второй эпизод позже будет. Завтра, скорее всего.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet? Well, I don't know how to say this politely, but you could literally just hit escape and restart the game any old time you want, like right now. You could have done it just then. Now would also be an appropriate time to quit. Any of these points and so many, many more, all of them are appropriate. I'm enjoying what seems to be an internal conflict going on where you are literally unable to act on your own desires to restart the game. So, just to push the envelope, I'm going to try and make this as miserable as possible and see how long you can maintain.
Не, второй ответ очевидно лучше. О, здесь музычку включили. Приятненько.
There once was a man named Stanley, who people considered so manly. But the truth must be told, he was not very old and was quite particularly gangly. What Stanley liked most was buttons. He pushed them like some kind of glutton. He did it all day in a meaningful way, but his brain had long ceased to function. Which is why he is in this parable and lives an existence quite terrible. And if you are not strong and keep playing along, you too will become quite unbearable. Yeah. You too will become quite unbearable.
Не, отличная песенка, мне понравилась. Про Стэнли, который был quite manly, который любил нажимать кнопки, но настолько нравилось ему это делать, что у него мозг перестал функционировать. Воросов включил субтитры, они везде включены. Ну, блин, конечно же, есть полный комментарий. Или нужно... Или надо было только субтитры? Не, фигня какая-то. Полный комментарий звучит правильней. Ладно, эта концовка закончилась. Хорошо. Быстро войти и выйти из офиса директора. Сейчас попробуем.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Parable переводится как баллада, да? Или что-то такое?
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Не, Карми Кола, не овер 9000, но... Он кто-то написал в чате же, где-то 23 всего. Это реально возможно? Притча. Ну, окей, притча. Не забудь про кладовку, она всегда уже закрыта, я в ней сидел. Окей. Здесь, походу, ничего не сделать, да? А смысл? Песня новая на стене. Блядь, ты за так и не поиграл? Чё двери-то не закрывались? Открыть надо дверь железную, и когда она закрывается обратно, успеть в комнату босса. Воу, полегче. You are now leaving. Yay! Escape pod bay for 260. Никогда не замечал, что если нажимать ЛКМ, то он просто нажимает кнопки. Ну Е то же самое делает, по сути. Е так было? Если просто бежать и нажимать их. Наверное, да. Он же кнопки нажимает. Ну, типа, работа такая. Можно мне на лифте? Что там было написано? 760, да? Чё-то далеко. Там песня новая на стене была. Ну, поздно уже. Введи свой читс 1 в консоли. Ну, посмотрим потом, окей. Escape под Launch Bay. Да. Выход. Ей! В такой тишине еще наратор ничего не говорит. О. Мы выбрались, окей. Ну, походу, это все концовки. По-моему, я все сделал. Что можно было. После стримфеста бухать-то будем, так разрабы, говорю, организаторы вроде как собираются... Вроде как собираются какой-то автопати после стримфеста сделать. Так, секретная концовка, нужно нажать на все включенные компьютеры в конце на компьютер Стэнли. Хорошо, сейчас попробуем. В правильном порядке надо вписывать. Ну, компы нажимать. Input received. Ну, походу, я не в правильном порядке нажал, да? А я не знаю, где консоль в игре, ребят. Она не открывается на тильду. Что? Сейвинг? F6... What? В игре есть сейвы? Shift тильда. Не. А, в этом? Не. Не работает.
When Stanley came to a set of two open...
Надо нажать на все компы, где говорят waiting input. На те компы, на которых прогресс в фиолетовой линии показывается. Окей, ща посмотрим.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Но тут нет ничего. Username access. Так тут всего 3 компа. В консоли открыть нужно в настройках и активировать. Extras, achievements, saves. А чё, ачивки выключены были? Открыто достижение achievement. Что? А чё он постоянно открывается? This is an achievement. Стоп, а если я прожму выключить? Но она же получена, я не думаю, что в Стиме есть такая возможность. Но она постоянно открывает мне достижения, вы этого просто не видите, потому что Steam Overlay это делает. Ускорение движения можно было сделать. Да нет, что-то консоли никакой. В Steam есть возможность закрывать и открывать ачивки, или? Разве? О, быстрее. По-моему, у меня быстрее начал двигаться только этот. Я же почти правильно, по-моему, нажал, только мышка покрутится быстрее. Ускорение движения. Enable Developer Console. О, да ладно, ребят, я думаю, это уже не так важно. Почти все открыли, какие-то консоли еще открывать. Не могу найти, пофиг.
Someone was following Stanley. He was sure of it. If he checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was only a matter of time.
Запусти игру 2 раза и иди запускать компы. У меня вот этот загорелся в прошлый раз почему-то. Почему он загорелся? Я не понимаю.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Здесь вообще компов нет.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting when... How long was I sitting there? Stanley wondered to himself.
Дождь.
Days? Centuries? Did something crucial happen while my senses were turned? He made a note to be more careful with time from now on.
Прикольно. Так как я включил тот комп-то? Артем, да, когда мы видели уже то, что было все в бумажках, и не один раз.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Дальше проходи компост по всей игре, и на всех могут появляться инпуты. Так, то есть надо нажимать вот на вот этот, что ли, только? Username access или нет? Это синий офис был еще одной концовкой, а мы в нем были, по сути. Один раз уже были в нем.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his
Активировать теперь надо другой такой искать.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office.
Ну, фиолетового нет же, был один фиолетовый у меня. Он один раз появился как раз вот там вот в уголке. Может быть, у секретарши? Он загорелся, да. Окей, input received. Хорошо. Начать игру сначала. Все, я понял вас. То есть ты начинаешь заново и находишь компы, на которых input received должно быть написано. Блин, а дальше где искать? Комп в офисе этого?
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Комп Стэнли теперь? What?
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked
Я подумал, может
upstairs
быть,
to his
комната
boss's
босса,
office.
нет? Твой комп мы нажали, типа, да, он уже не горит. А у него нет компа здесь, лол. У какого босса нет компа вообще? Комп Стэнли. Не. «434-я комната».
Even now, Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer, perhaps, and a painting. Was it a painting or a photo? He could no longer recall.
«434-й комп». Не, ну походу где-то еще надо, я не знаю где еще. Вообще еще в музее компы были, но я хз... Где было? Где чат? Где? Чего? О! Вау, правда. А че, его в прошлый раз не было? И че я на него нажать не могу? Я не могу на него нажать. Ну так же, как и на тот, в принципе, не мог нажать. О, наконец, найс. Так, input received. Теперь комп Стэнли, да? Ага. Done. Все, походу, это моя последняя концовка будет. Стэнли, добро пожаловать в рай. В нем можно нажимать кнопки. Да, это его любимое занятие. Рай Стэнли. Рай перфекциониста, ты уверен? Они все разного цвета и движутся с разной скоростью и в разные стороны. По-моему, наоборот. Он говорит buttons. Buttons. Все, ладно, друзья. Окей. В главное меню. Главное меню очень круто сделано, видели? Здесь мышку можно водить, там мышка водится, и там дальше тоже, короче. Лучше всего видно, если... Рекурсия, короче. Если водить по менюшке. Окей, друзья, спасибо, что смотрели сегодня стрим. Stanley Parable был довольно забавным. Вам, мне кажется, тоже так же, как и мне, понравилось. Спасибо Лукасу за заказ игры. И на сегодня все. Завтра у меня выходной, сегодня